Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about posing. This is for my photographers out there. And I'm going to speak on how to pose and direct your people in front of the camera. Now, posing is a subject that can get very weird and awkward because think about it. You're literally directing someone on how to look, if that makes sense. You know, it's kind of weird, but I've learned a lot of keys and tips throughout the years on how to make people just come alive on the camera, and I want to share them with you. All right, so the first thing that I would say that is super important is making sure that you make your people feel comfortable. Talk to them when they first come up on the scene or location or studio. Make sure that they know who you are. Make sure they know your voice. Make them feel like they're your long lost cousin. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that they don't feel as awkward, even just coming up to you. Make sure that you are approachable and that you make them feel at home. That is all with your tone of voice, even sometimes giving compliments, just making sure that you get up on your customer service, okay? That's the first thing, because you're not going to get the best poses, you're not going to get the best out of that person if they don't feel comfortable. And think about it for yourself. You're not going to do the same either if you don't feel at ease and at peace about it, right? So making someone in front of your camera feel comfortable is the first thing, the first key to posing anybody. Then after you made them feel comfortable and good, you want to make sure that you start them with a direction to look at, a left or right direction with their face. You can let them know, hey, look to your left and look to your right, and just see how that looks. Start snapping, testing some things, show it to them and give them some feedback and see what you get out of it. Those are some really good first kind of beginner ways to help people to start posing is, hey, look to the left and look at this tree, or look to the right and look at where my hand is. Many times I'll kind of put my hand out where I want somebody to look, like right behind me or, you know, over my shoulder, which is a really good place to start. And starting with left and right really does help, because think about it, if you have someone that has never done a photo shoot, it's their first time, they may be a little intimidated by looking at the camera right into that black just hole that's looking right down to their soul. So the directions really do help, and I've seen such great feedback, and people start to get a little bit loose and start to feel way better about their own posing. Now, if you're working with somebody that's a model, like I've worked with many models from agencies and they already know their angles, they studied in the mirror, it's a little bit different and way more easier, but it's still really good to direct them sometimes as well, because it's that middle part of they're coming out of one pose and then may not know where to go. You can put in like, hey, look left or look right, or look where my hand is and give fierce, or look where my hand is here and think about a determined face, what your face would look like if it was determined, what your face would look like if, you know, you're smiling and you're really happy. Those are some things that I would throw in there when you're posing and helping people to look good on camera. The next important point that I would say when posing or directing your clients in front of the camera is to give them a visual point. Give them something that they can imagine. If you want someone to smile big, tell them, hey, what is something as a child that made you feel so electric? What is something that made you feel so happy? And they can think of that and start to smile, and it can get something more genuine out of them and very much more natural, because you want to get the essence of who they are. You don't want to get too staged, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to portraits and lifestyle photography. For example, sometimes I say, imagine sitting on a bus stop. What type of emotion is going to come out of there? Are you going to be more happy? Or are you going to be more just content waiting on it? Are you going to be a little bit more frustrated if it's a long bus? And what would that look like? You gotta try everything. Another cool one is like, imagine your future. What does your future look like? And look past my shoulder and see your future right behind me. Usually when I do that one, the looking towards the future one, it gives a positive reaction. So you get a lot of smizing and just a real cool, fierce look out of people, and it's really fun to do. Or another one is, imagine the best joke that you remember, or the best meme in your phone, or the best video that had you belly laughing, and that will really convey some really good laughs. Oh, and another thing that I've noticed when you want to get someone kind of smiling, positive, laughing, is tell them to start fake laughing. When you start fake laughing, you're actually going to start laughing, because guess what? You're laughing at yourself because of you fake laughing. You get what I'm saying? You're laughing at how stupid you sound because of you fake laughing. And that helps all the time. I'm telling you, I've gotten some really good results from just telling them to do that. And I really love it. So yeah, doing that can really loosen up the client if they may feel a little tense or may feel a little uncomfortable. And then another good one is if there's like a couple, I'll tell one of them to, hey, whisper into your spouse's ear and tell them something that they're gonna laugh at, that you know they're gonna laugh at. And then I can capture that interaction of the whisper, of the laugh, when that laugh hits and the punchline hits and they are belly laughing. It's so fun to do and to see it unfold and how people react. Next, when it comes to posing, I would just go back to the basics and ask them, hey, what do you naturally do when a camera is on you? For example, if you've taken an iPhone photo or maybe even a selfie, what is your natural pose that you lean into? Is it hand on the hip? Is it arm and hand to the chin? What is it? And then we can go from there. That's more of a starting point also with getting them comfortable. So after getting them comfortable, I would kind of go there. And this will also make them feel authentic to self. That's what you always want to get, is their authentic self. And then once they lean into a pose, maybe direct their arm the other way. If they're going like this, direct it this way and try it like the directions left and right. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to posing. It's just making people feel like themselves. They don't want to feel forced. And many times when I'm posing somebody, I'm like, hey, if this feels forced, stop. Take a break and tell me, because I don't want you to feel forced. Like, it's not where it's supposed to be. I don't want to do that. Now, if it's more so like a creative portrait shoot or like for models, usually those poses can be a little bit more staged or flowing in a way, and a little bit more theatrical, if that makes sense, because you're trying to give the drama, okay? But if it's somebody that's not used to being in front of the camera, you gotta take it easy and you gotta make sure that they are always going to hit the point of being themselves. And another tip that I would say is pretty practical. It's just going online, Googling people that pose well, maybe looking at models and see what they do and trying that with people and see how it looks. Because hey, it's always good to have a reference and like a diving board visually to help you guide yourself as a photographer. Because another thing that I've noticed when it comes to photo shoots, the clients, they're really depending on you to direct them throughout the whole entire thing. That's just, I would say like 80 to 75% of the shoots that I've done, they're depending on me. And what that says to me is just, hey, this is not natural. This is not something I do daily. So I need your help. You've been doing this, girl, so I need your help. And I'm always glad to do so. So yeah, get some images online, maybe some celebrities or some local friends that you've seen online and like their posing, and screenshot it, save it in your phone, make a folder for it so it can help you and guide you as you're out there on the field doing your shoots. And lastly, honestly, this ain't really too structured of a point, but it's just have fun with it. You know, make sure that you're having fun and make sure that the client is having fun. Whatever they like to lean into, whatever they want to kind of do, they may have a vision in their head. Let them do it, you know, because they are paying you as a photographer to achieve a vision that they have for themselves. And that is the most important thing. Have fun. Oh, and this is the actual last thing that I would say. It kind of coincides with making them comfortable. But when you come on the scene, the location, the studio of the day of the shoot, you as the photographer have a responsibility. You really do. If you come in there with a mood that is down, that is not lively, if you have a mood that is not going to aid in the good results of the person, they're gonna feel that, y'all. I'm telling you, they're gonna feel it. And it may help them and it may not help them. And I've seen it to where it doesn't help, because now they're stale, they're a little stiff, they don't feel as comfortable. So it's all about making them feel comfortable, y'all. And I can't stress that enough, because listen, you want to have more than one photo to put in your portfolio, and they want to have more than one to pick from. If they feel stiff and stale the whole time, a part of that is on you, photographer, because you set the tone, you set the atmosphere, and you set the mood for how the shoot is going to go, because you are the professional. You are the one that is standing in that seat. So get better with it. If you're not as good with your customer service or people skills, I would learn to just act as if you were them. And how would you want somebody to treat you? It really is that simple, y'all. It really is. All right, guys, so that is my spiel on posing and directing people. I hope that this was helpful and that you share this with a friend. Make sure that you subscribe. If you're watching, subscribe. That would really help me. It's free. And guess what? I'll be able to give you some more content just like this. Press that bell notification as well so that you're notified every time that I post. And if you're a photographer, keep shooting, keep going, and make some good work that you're proud of. But like I always say, if you're watching this on the week, have a good week. And if you're watching this on the weekend, have a good weekend. And I'll see y'all soon.